everybody, welcome back to The Hobby Musician. I am so excited because today I get to announce that we have officially partnered with the good folks over at Pango Music to launch a brand new sub-series here on the channel dedicated to bringing you the best tips and tricks and just general advice on how you can get instrument kits and do some final assembly yourself to turn out pro-level instruments each and every time. Now, to celebrate this launch, they have done two very exciting things for us. Number one, they have made a channel-specific link that I've got posted down below. It's in the description and down in the comments, and that link will take you directly to their site so that you can start browsing the massive selection of instruments and accessories that they have. The second thing that they did was they also made a limited time discount code just for us. So once you've picked out your kit or kits that you want to get, make sure to use the code Jeremy10 at checkout, all one word, Jeremy10, and they're going to throw in a bonus 10% off your entire purchase. Now, don't forget, the link down below will always work to take you to their site, but those discount codes are limited to the first 100 customers, so don't wait too long to do your shopping. Okay, since this is the first video in this brand new sub-series, I wanted to take it back, and I want to just take the moment to address two fundamental questions that you might be asking if you're not too familiar with kind of the world of instrument kits, or if you've never really considered one for yourself. First and foremost, I want to ask the question, why should you consider getting an instrument kit as a direct alternative to going to a store and buying an instrument that's already fully assembled? Well, the answer to that is that there are a lot of reasons. But just some general categories are this. First and foremost, I want to talk about something that I kind of think of as the cost versus quality ratio. Now, if you've been around the instrument game for any amount of time, you probably already know there is some correlation to how much money you spend on an instrument and what overall quality you're going to get for that instrument. There are not exact dollar amounts, but there are certainly lower price points instruments and much more expensive price points, and the quality correlates. Well, the benefit of getting an instrument kit is this. In the manufacturing process, companies are able to produce bodies, necks, the hardware, the electronics. They're able to produce high quality components, but they can save themselves a lot of money by leaving the assembly, the final assembly parts, to you and I as the consumer. So by sharing in that process, these companies are able to offer their kits at much, much lower price points because we're helping out in the process. So, as a concrete example, if you go down and click that link we were talking about earlier, you're gonna see that many kits sort of fall in the $200 to $300 range. I want you to imagine taking that $200 to a guitar store. You walk in and you ask the people, can you help me find an instrument for $200? There's only one of two things that can happen. There is a chance that they just don't have an instrument for that little amount of money. But the second option is maybe they do have a guitar that you can buy for $200, but I promise you, you might want to be cautious about the quality of an instrument you're going to get for that low amount of money. But that same $200 can buy you a kit where the components in the kit are all comparable to much higher quality, much higher price point instruments. So after a little bit of assembly, your finished product is going to be far outclassing the $200 or $300 that you spent for the kit. Now, moving on to another category, well, what if you're just somebody who has a very specific instrument in mind? You know, think about it. Maybe you went to a concert and everything about the experience spoke to you. You're watching, you're listening, you're seeing the artist up there playing, and it just resonated with you, and you were inspired, and you looked up and you're like, I want that guitar. Well, you jump in your car the next day, go to the store. You may run into some problems. Maybe the guitar they were playing is way outside of your price range. Or maybe you find out that the specific one you saw was something custom made for them by the company, and that they don't even offer those colors or those specs in any of the production models. So if that's the case, if you want a specific guitar, a kit is also a great option for you because you can have so much control. You have ultimate control over those types of things. Not only do you get to pick and control what the final color scheme is going to be, or the hardware, or the electronics, you can even go so far as to work with the company ahead of time, including the folks over at Pango. You can reach out and you can have further customizations made to the components themselves. You want a slightly different neck profile? They can help work out a custom order so that when you get your kit, it is exactly the instrument that you're dreaming of, or exactly the instrument that you're resonating with at the end of the day. Okay, a third category of people who might really should consider getting a kit. What if you are out there and you're thinking about experimenting with a new instrument type? And what I mean by that is, hey, maybe you've been an acoustic guitar player your whole career and you're just starting to think about, well, what is this electric guitar all about? Maybe I want to try out one. Or maybe you've been a traditional electric player and you're starting to think, hey, I've heard so much about these 7-string instruments or 12-string instruments. What's that all about? Again, kit instruments are great ways for you to end up with a really high quality instrument, even if it's just for experimenting. What I mean is, like, let's say you get that 7-string, you play for a while, and you start thinking, hey, you know what? 7 strings is too many. 6 is enough. I'm good with 6. Again, having the opportunity to have access to high quality instruments without needing to invest a lot of money into it is such a bonus, and it's going to allow you to explore your musical kind of interests even more. Well, maybe a fourth and final category that we'll cover today is, what if you're just somebody out there who wants to try something creative? Maybe you've got a wild and crazy idea for a color scheme or a paint process, or you want to take it a step further. Maybe you're thinking, well, could I take a guitar and drill a whole bunch of holes in the body and maybe mount something like a battery powered smoke machine, and I can hit a power cord, smoke's coming out, I'll have lasers on stage going and make this amazing show. Kit instruments can be great opportunities to jump off, and they're canvases. You can have so much of the mundane parts of building guitars done for you. What I mean by that is, hey, as wild as crazy as you want to get, you still need all the frets in order, and they need to be at the correct spacing to make it play in tune. Well, that's done for you. You don't have to worry about it. You can spend your time and energy focusing on those amazing creative ideas, and kit instruments are great ways to access that. Well, hopefully here at the end of all of that, maybe you've heard something today that really has kind of got you thinking that maybe a kit is the right next move for you. Or better yet, maybe I've convinced you. And so if that's the case, I want to move on to the second question that you should be asking right before you get ready to get your first kit. So the second question that I wanted to cover in this video is, let's say that you've made the decision that you want to get an instrument kit. Well, now, what should you expect to get when that kit arrives? And so that's why this is my next kit project here, and I wanted to do an unboxing and talk through some of those things with you. Now, I don't mean what you should expect in terms of specific models. No. I mean more of like the general features or general options that you might be able to order along with your kit, and what you should be looking for in that process. Now, I did cut the camera just there so I could cut all the tape. You didn't have to listen to me cutting. But now the box is cut open and we can unbox it together. So the first thing that you should look for when you're ordering a kit, no matter what company you get it from, is it's kind of boring. You should be looking for or paying attention to whether or not the company is going to package and protect their kits when they ship it to you. We said before, these are kits. These are just parts, a body, a neck, the hardware. It's not attached to anything. So you're going to want to make sure that the company takes care to protect all of those components so that they don't arrive to you dinged up and mashed up. And you can see here, every kit that I've ever gotten from Pango, they do an amazing job with that. So I'll pull this out here. This body box, they separate everything into their own box. They've got their own, they've got their own kind of packaging and material in here. And so I want to pull this out because this is going to lead me into the second general thing that you should be looking for. So using this body here, the second thing that you should really kind of make sure that you're getting when you order a kit is that the company is pre-drilling all of the necessary holes. Now, I have found some other companies, and I've had one bad experience in the past with a different website where they certainly did the bigger things. They did the neck or the pickup cavities, and they did the neck pocket. But one thing that they did not do was they didn't do any of the electronics holes, and they didn't do any of the bridge placement holes. And I gotta tell you, this stuff is very important. It needs to be precise for your instrument to play in tune and all of that stuff. So make sure, if you're gonna go with another website, make sure that you understand whether or not they're gonna be pre-drilling some of those holes for you. So packaging, check. Pre-drilling all of the important kind of areas, check. You can see here, even just in terms of finishing, I mean, kits, these kits are all ready to go. This stuff, the sanding that they do is amazing. This is ready to get colored, stained, you know, whatever we're gonna do to it. But the last thing that I want to talk about is maybe kind of the single biggest area where first-time folks might be a little intimidated with a kit. And I'm going to get this, this is the hardware box that they have. Sometimes the idea of like screwing on a neck or gluing in a neck, not a big deal. But usually it has to do with the electronics. Most people, if you're brand new to this might be kind of an area where, you know, I'm just a little uneasy. So I want to show you one of the things that Pango does with their kits. But if you go with another company, you're going to want to see if this is an option. So I'm pulling out here, these are the pickups. We got all of the hardware, the tuning pegs, the knobs in there. But this is the bag that I want to open up because, yep, here we go. These are the pots. These are the control pots, the volume, the tone, the pickup selector switch. And you can see what Pango does is they pre-solder as much of the electronics, pre-connect it as possible. So when they ship it out, this is ready. I can actually flip that body over and I can just place these in the correct hole, screw on the washer, and it's done. The only soldering that I'm gonna have to do, or that you're gonna have to do as well, is all I'm gonna need to do is connect the wires from the pickups to their ports on here. Because pickups need to be fed through the body and the wires need to go through these channels, so you can't pre-solder them because then you couldn't get them through the body. That is the only part that you're gonna need to do for any kit that you get. Which is a really, really great kind of starting point for anybody who might be nervous about this aspect. But honestly, those three areas, the packaging, the pre-drilling of the holes, and nice little touches like helping out with the soldering, those are the main things that I would encourage you to think about or to expect when you get your instrument kits. So, as always, I hope you got something out of this episode. I really hope you're as excited as I am for all of the episodes coming. And until next time, play on, my friends. Play on.